Yeah, we going up, we going crazy, going bonkers. Produced by Ziggy, Zay Ticky, believe that.
It ain't peaches, it'll deceive you, boy, believe me. What you know about a jungle made with nothing but semen. No creepy crawlers, just heathens that prey on your weakness. Smell the slightest hint of fear, and the stainless you'll eat it. Gang bangers that greet your test on their face like Weezy. Pouring milk by the ounce, walking around looking sleepy. I'm from a town, no integrity, a broken city, disrupted. I know niggas who once were real, who now turning into Suggs. When it comes to murder, it's nothing. Rallos get pulled over scuffles. Bumpy road around this motherfucker, your life means nothing. It ain't peaches. Niggas walking around with no feelings, with a chip on their shoulder, saying the world don't feel us. Trying to earn them some millions so they can split with they niggas. I know cats that died broke because they lost all ambition. When it comes up to get
Welcome back to another edition of More to Live For. We're right back on this wonderful segment, Queens of the City. Got a special guest with me tonight. This is volume 13, by the way. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and she's gonna tell you what it is that she does and the awareness that she's raising, and we're just gonna have a good conversation. How you doing, ma'am?
I am fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Okay, so I will. My name is, you guys probably know me as Tammy Suggs. My government is Tamika, but don't tell nobody. I am born and raised 252 Pitt County, Bethel, Over Road. Born, raised. I'm currently living in Gaithersburg, Maryland, but I rep the 252 all day, every day.
Okay. So before we get into your career, I just have one quick question. Now, how was the transition from coming from from north of the Riverway, leaving there and going to a metropolitan city? How was that?
Oh gosh, let me tell you, it was so scary. Just because it wasn't just me, it was my 3 kids. Yeah. So I actually took a pilgrimage to Africa in 2018. And that kind of opened my eyes to my strength, my inner strength. I went on a find myself journey.
Right.
And I found my strength in 2018. And by 2019, I saved, I worked, I made a plan, and I left everything that I ever knew, my mom, my family, my community. I knew nothing else. And I've been here since. And it has been, I think, single-handedly the best move I've ever made as a parent, as a student, as a paraprofessional, and as a person.
Wow. I wanted to touch on that briefly, mainly because I just want to shine the light on the fact that you left home and became successful, because sometimes a lot of people afraid to leave home, and that's something that I've done, even though I moved back. But it's just something that I want my kids to understand, and the younger generation, that you sometimes you might just have to leave, and when you leave home, your so-called safety net, and you're going out on your own, you just find so much about yourself that you didn't know, things that
absolutely. So, oh gosh,
I definitely want to shine the light on that.
Yes.
But could you tell us your career, ma'am, and what it is that you do?
Yes, of course. So I am a client service coordinator for the city of Gaithersburg. I'm also the chief program coordinator for Montgomery County. And I am also a housing specialist. And just recently, I became a school teacher.
Wow. I don't want to start, backwards, but school teacher. Could you take us through some of the joys of that?
Oh my gosh.
How is
Listen,
that?
so being I never, first of all, I never in my wildest dreams ever thought I would be a school teacher. I kind of fell into it through my autism advocacy. I kind of, you know, I'm very stubborn. And as a autism mom, you know, we have IEP meetings and 504, you know, we have all these meetings to advocate for our kids. And I'm a very firm believer in be about it and not talk about it.
Right.
And I had a clash, I want to say, with a personnel at an IEP meeting. And it was, well, you're not a teacher, so you don't know. Well, I can be a teacher too. So I made arrangements at my career, my job that I did during the day. Hey, is there any way I can juggle some stuff, move my hours because I want to be a teacher? I knew I had the college credits for it, and I can be very determined when I want to be, and especially when it's to prove somebody wrong. I know it can be petty sometimes, but you know, that was really how I fell into teaching because I just had to prove to this supposedly professional that you can do this job and be compassionate towards not only the children, but to the families. Because autism, I don't think people realize autism is a community effort. It's not just the child, it's not just the parent, it's not just teachers, it is a community effort. And I wanted to prove to her that, hey, I can teach, be compassionate, and still do my other job. And I've been doing it for 6 months now. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's how I kind of got into teaching. And I love it. Like it's honestly, I can't even describe it. It's like to see these families, they just grab you and hug you, even independent. And it's like, thank you. Thank you. Because not only am I teaching their kids, but I'm teaching these young parents or people new to autism that don't really know how to advocate for their kids. So in the process of me teaching the kids, I'm also teaching the parents too. So I get like a double reward
awesome.
for what I'm doing now.
So, so what you are teaching in, so you, correct me if I'm wrong, but so you are now involved in the IEP meetings from a teacher standpoint.
From a teacher standpoint, exactly. So I can input like curriculum changes. You know, hey, I feel like you know, we can add this or we can subtract this. And because of my relationship with my other job, because I work for the city and I work for the county. So all of those hats that I'm wearing is helping my advocacy for the curriculum, the parents, and the students.
Awesome, awesome. And like you said, you know, it was something that you knew you could do. You had the college credits for. So could you back up for a second and, you know, give us your educational background for those who
Absolutely. So I graduated from North Pitt High School, class of 2004. But I got my associates at Pitt Community College. I actually have 3 associates. And then I got my bachelor's from Wesleyan, North Carolina Wesleyan. And then once I got here last year, I also started my master's at University of Maryland. So I'm currently working on that too. So
awesome.
We almost there.
I just, you know, wanted to take a time and, you know, get you to, you know, list some of your accomplishments because I think that, you know, you definitely an inspiration, you know, to young people everywhere. So, and
I try.
Exactly. I think you're doing a good job. Just
Thank you.
From the simple fact that, you know, you come into those IEP meetings, you know, not only just a parent, you know, the parent and the teacher now. And I think that was, you know, just very important how you equip yourself, you know, with that, you know, wanting to be a teacher just so you can learn more about this and, you know, just have more input on.
Yeah, and also to show other teachers that it doesn't, it can be very overwhelming as a teacher. But I mean, not only am I exposing the students and the families to different things, but also the colleagues, because they're looking at me now and it's like, oh wow, she was able to break through that wall, or
Right.
she was able to connect with a student that no one prior. I'm like, yeah. So I'm touching octopus style, like the teachers, the students, the parents, administration, the city. I'm even bringing awareness with my other jobs. Hey, we need to do outreaches in this community. We need to do outreach because people, they fall in the cracks. People with not just autism, mental developmental delay, all sorts of umbrella for mental health. And so I'm able to bridge both of my jobs to make one big impact. And I think that for me is the biggest accomplishment so far for me career-wise.
Can you talk about, some of the outreach programs you've been able to put together, just your involvement in the community and, the awareness that you continue to raise?
Absolutely. So I do outreach twice a month here in Gaithersburg. I would love to do more in Greenville. I know my kids raised almost $3,000 last summer, and we gave away over 400 backpacks full of school supplies. They were able to get a meal. We did hot dogs, chips. I mean, we fed, we gave them supplies. And then we had a few like gas cards for families. So that is something that we did back home in Greenville. I would love to do more. I would love to link with any organization there, just to lend my support. But here, we do a lot of outreaches. We tend to go to the very impoverished areas up here. And I drag my kids every time I go. So if I go, they go. Right. And they see like, okay, like to me, it gives them a sense of it could be worse for me. And it also gives them a sense of I should do more. My mantra to my kids every day and to myself, leave the world a little better than you found it. Right. And so we do a lot of outreaches. The minimum twice a month, at the most every weekend. And we do different things. We do diapers. I have a diaper hub where I give away diapers, formulas, and with the formula shortage.
Yeah, that's very helpful.
I have been so swamped in the last few weeks with families calling me needing formula. Personal body wash, soaps. We do clothing. I have a contract with Tommy Hilfiger. So they have, I don't live too far from an outlet. So I go in and I get contracts with Ralph Lauren, all these stores, like this merchandise that you're just gonna throw away. How about you get a tax write-off, you donate it to my program, and we disperse it in our communities. And I've also taken some stuff to Greenville and dispersed it there too. Wow. So I try to be fair and do it in both communities because I love Greenville. But yeah, so I try to get contracts with different companies, anything, clothes, shoes, socks, t-shirts, underwears, anything, especially in the homeless population. They like the kits now that it's getting warm. So I try to provide them with like fans and things like that. So it changes every season. And when it's cold, we try to provide socks, blankets, things that'll keep them warm. And then now it's getting hot, we try to provide like fans, donations, and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much every weekend thing for me and the kids.
I definitely think that's awesome. Continue, being the great person that you are, giving back to, the community. I definitely think that's awesome. Yeah. I want to take the time, to acknowledge that. But I have one more question I want to ask. With everything that you have going on with your career, with the awareness that you're raising and all the great things that you stand for, how is it, being the mom of a student athlete? You kind of touch in on that.
Oh gosh, yeah. So that part, it is very challenging to be the mom of a student athlete because I have to keep in mind that I also work in the school system that he's in. And I also have to keep in mind that we're not in the 252. It's a different dynamic here. So where we're used to things being a certain way there, we, as in he and I, have to adapt here. Because, you know, I go mama bear mode when it comes to the kids.
Yeah.
And so I have to kind of rein myself in a lot of times because I be wanting to, you know, get on the court and not embarrass him. So it's been a learning process. It's been a learning process for not only him, but for me. But he's flourishing. He's doing great. We have so many college offers that he's getting. Trying to stay on him with his grades. He's getting older, you know, he don't want to listen to mama, but he's a really good kid. He's doing great. Yeah, it's awesome. I would not have it any other way.
I think you're doing an awesome job. Just, you know, with
Thank you.
I don't think I ever met your son, but just seeing, you know, the growth all through the years and everything that he's involved with, and you know, you're right there every step of the way, cheering them along, and you know, and I can honestly say I can see that and see the you know, the awareness that you're raising for everything that you stand for.
Yeah.
And one last thing I just wanted to touch on. Now you got a special guest, but just you know, just being a awesome mom. And,
go there.
oh, that's right on time for what we. That's right on time because my little man, he's been running in here making cameos on the last few videos, and I've been having to edit that out. But no, I just kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit, and you know, just talk about.
I forgot the justice reform that we're working on. So real quick.
Oh yeah, get touch on that. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I be doing so much, man. Okay, so justice reform. I am actually trying to organize a group here in DC. And the group will the Innocence Project, where we are basically they're looking into cases for, I'm trying to think of a better way to say this, but basically cases that we know were padded to get people incarcerated. I know the team that I'm currently working with, we haven't really, it's more so moms. It's like a mom group, so to speak. But we're trying to get LLCs. We're trying to get nonprofits for it. And basically we're helping aid not just Black men incarcerated, but it's also for, you know, Black men that have a felony on their record. And it's like for, you know, something trivial. And we're also trying to advocate for those guys, because once you have a felony on your record, your job choices goes down. Not even just job choices, but financial aid, Pell Grants. You can't get any of that stuff. Right. And so, you know, we're looking at it from the mom point of view, but we would like to extend it into, we're trying to get a lot of professionals. So we're up at Harvard, Georgetown, Hampton, all the historic Black colleges. We're recruiting law students because I don't know the lingo. And, you know, so we're learning as we're advocating in the justice reform for wrongly incarcerated, expungements for felonies, for job purposes, right. And housing. Housing for the veterans is another program that I'm doing just because it's personal to me. My dad is a veteran, fought for this country, was hurt for this country, and for a year was homeless. Wow. And so that's another door that I'm opening. I actually just made connection with the Rotary Club here that is supposed to take care of veterans. So linking not only my teaching, my advocacy for mental health, but also for veterans, homelessness, and the overall well-being for veterans too. So I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I think all of that is very great and very helpful to the community. You touched on quite a few good things, and I think a lot of people, regardless of where they're from, definitely can relate. And I think what you're doing in that area, is very great because it is a lot of guys in there that shouldn't be in there or shouldn't be in there as long as they have been. So I definitely think
for sure. And then a lot of them are railroaded because they're giving lawyers who working for the other side.
Yeah.
So they don't even have a chance.
Yeah. That's kind of how the system is. I mean, a public defender is.
That's why it's important for us as a people to recruit us to represent us, because no one can represent us better than us.
Exactly. One thing I kind of want to touch on, and it just came to me. I was interviewing someone about prison, and he kind of brought something to my attention that I never really thought about. It's the whole private investigator. It's like we will get a lawyer, but I don't really hear too many, of us like actually going out getting a lawyer and the private investigator. And he was telling me that's how he got, his murder conviction overturned. Well, reduced to, I think a manslaughter. I think that's what he ended up getting reduced to. But I just kind of mention that and kind of tie that into everything that you just said. And I think that's all very, very helpful.
And so this is why what you're doing is so helpful, because a lot of people never knew that. Just from personal experience, I wasn't aware until about 5 years ago that, wait, why should we do that? And that's very important. That's why this platform that you're doing is so important. Each one teach one.
Exactly. And like you said, I'm glad you said that, because I was telling I don't know who I was telling, but I was telling somebody that every interview I do, I'm learning something. If I'm not learning something, there's not no point in me to do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I'm highlighting people and what they have going on, but I'm also learning something, and I hope my viewers are learning something too. So
yeah, me too. I know I am. So keep up the good work.
Well, thank you for all the support. Definitely thank you for the support, man. Thank you. I think we touched on some good topics. I did want to briefly touch on autism because I just want to let you know I think what you're doing is you're doing an awesome job being an autism mom. I'm an autism dad of, both my sons have autism, and
I remember because I had some questions that, like, I was devastated when I got the diagnosis from my son. Right. I was devastated. I was in denial and I was devastated. Also, you were one of the very first, if not the first person to reach out to me during that time to say, it's all right, it's okay, you can do this. Because I was like, yeah, no, I can't, no. And just, I want to shout out real quick to Lisa Harvey, Shanita Fulford's mom.
Right.
Jesus Christ, that lady is a blessing. I think you two were the very first two people to tell me, you got this. You got this. And going in, I personally never knew anyone with autism.
Right.
I never even knew all the different dynamics of autism. And so here I am, single mom now, because I'm going through, my separation, and I'm going through all of this. And then I get hit with this diagnosis in 2018, and I mentally just fell apart because I don't know nothing about autism. I don't, we don't get diagnosed with that in this community.
Right.
That was the, oh, ain't nothing wrong with him, he'll grow out of it. That was the advice that I got from family members. That's
the I can honestly say I heard some of those things too with my older son, but
yeah,
he was born in 2008. But I definitely, it was definitely important for me to reach out to you.
Yeah, you were. I think I might have made a post, and I think you were one of the first. You was like, "Oh, you got this. You can do this."
Just for the simple fact that I know, the type of person that you are and everything that you had going on then was just in the works, and seeing what that is now, I knew the type of person that you are that, that you would, know what to do. But but I definitely I can understand how you say that you were you know, devastated. And it's kind of and when you say that, because I can honestly say that I have said that in the past, maybe with my older son, but it's kind of almost like a guilty feeling, you know, as the years go on. You know, I can honestly say now that, you know, when I think back to how I felt, I can really say that I felt more bad about not knowing what to do than just you know, feeling bad about, you know, about the situation, the diagnosis. But I definitely think you know, what you're doing and what I'm doing as far as, you know, raising awareness on autism. I think that's
Yes,
very important, and you know,
very,
so
especially in our
to
community,
so
in
many.
our world, very important.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
having that safe sounding board is so important because, like I said, honestly, you were one of the first people to reach out, and Miss Lisa Harvey was the first to reach out to me to say, you can do this, relax,
Oh
do
yeah.
your research, and literally step by step. And I'm like, okay, okay, okay. And then, you know, I'm this
And then
advocate now.
I just want to touch on something that I can honestly say that I seen you know, from you doing this whole journey, because your twins are they how old are they now, like 5 6
They're 8.
8? Wow, I'm way off. So you see how many years it's been. But I can honestly say over the years, like, and I actually read this somewhere, like in my, you know, studies about autism and things like that. But this was, you know, after I've seen you do it, I can honestly say, because a lot of parents make this mistake, but you didn't. Some parents focus more on the autism than the child. So I can honestly say that you didn't do that, and that is the correct way, you know, to love your child with special needs.
And
And
not to limit, back
exactly.
to the advocating for your kids. He wanted to play piano, and the piano teacher outright told me, oh, well, he can't, he's not gonna be able to do it.
Right.
What you mean he's not? You know, and that goes that mama bear.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you better than I can tell you, and he plays the piano better than his neurotypical twin.
Wow.
But he learns it different. She learns by you tell her this and this and this. He learns by just watching you. Kind of gives me the Nick Cannon vibes in Drumline.
Right.
He didn't know how to read the music, but he can watch you play it, and he can play it better than you once he watch. You know that. You know, and that's one of the things that I don't think people. I ain't gonna say people. Some parents don't realize about their kids. You have to give them that room to learn them, because I can't learn them if they don't know them.
Exactly.
And so that's one of the things that actually you inspire me. Like I learned from your blueprint on, okay, I would reach out to say, oh, you know, and the advice you gave was honestly, you can do this,
Right.
take it one day at a time. And I remember distinctly you saying, you got to take it one day at a time. Every day is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
And meet
I haven't learned that myself. Yeah.
Yeah, like, cause that's actually, I got that advice from you. It was take it one day at a time. Every day is not going to be the same, and meet him where he's at that day. If you can't get him to wear pants that day, guess what? Just let it ride.
Right.
Tomorrow is a different day. Right. And that's one of the things, one of the most important things I took from your advice was each day, treat each day like each day. And not to cookie cut him into what I think he should be.
Well, I can honestly say that I'm honored, you know, that you can say that something that I told you,
Yeah,
you know, help you, and especially when I think about everything that you're doing now, and I definitely think that I can.
You the spark. You're the spark.
Thank you for that.
Fire.
Thank you for that. But I just want to say that I think that that I can do more than what I do now. But one thing that I have learned, you know, just through my studies of everything that I care about and researching it, you know, different areas, different communities. Well, not necessarily different communities, but you know, different cities. Different cities and their population and everything they have, you know, you know, as far as available resources for autism or any other special needs, it's different in every city. So I can't really say that I haven't done the most that I can, or but I'm definitely trying to be more involved, and I'm definitely trying to, you know, to keep raising awareness. But I do think that I would,
Absolutely.
as far as on autism and raising that awareness, I do think that I would be, better off in, maybe a different city or something like that. I'll be able to do more.
Well, the good thing about that is with the Zoom and all this stuff now, you can be pretty much anywhere you need to be without actually physically having to go. But I will say from your standpoint, and it's crazy because you are an autism dad, I'm an autism mom. And for that camaraderie, for that level of understanding from the dad's point of view and the mom's point of view, because, I didn't get that understanding from the other parent. It was just totally different. And I think your view on autism and what your advocacy is for autism, it is so needed. It is so needed for dads, not just Black dads, but just dads in general. And then you add in our community, like you said, the resources there are very thin.
It's all about,
luckily where I am, the resources plenty.
That's why we gotta keep raising awareness. And,
exactly.
And another thing I want to focus on when we say autism awareness, we also we say autism acceptance. And I just kind of want to chime in on that because what you said is very true, and it kind of ties in to the point that I'm making. The acceptance part for me, I used to look at it as, I want everybody around him, everybody, in the community. I want them to be able to accept him for how he is, who he truly is. That's one part of it. But over the years and, through the things that I'm seeing, I'm also realizing that acceptance part, comes from the parents or any other family members or that are in denial about what's going on. That got something to do with the acceptance part too. And I just I want to, bring that to your attention and kind of tie that into the fact that, when you said that, we need to raise more awareness, we need to see more dads, because, I've been to quite a few IEP meetings like you have, and I will see, a mother that looks like you. I will see quite a few of them, but the one or two dads that I do see, and it's so rare, they don't look like me. So that's why I want to continue to raise awareness on this issue, because it can't be, my son is in middle school now. So at age 14, I encountered, I remember, I think it was just one dad. Now that I sit back and think about it, all these years, he's almost in high school, and I can say I remember talking and seeing this one dad over and over again, but anything other than that, his parents, and I mean, his mothers, and it takes both parents for him to get here. So
absolutely,
if I'm seeing white, Black, brown, every race, can have autism, and I'm seeing this in his classroom, then I should be seeing, both parents.
That in the advocacy for these kids, because at the end of the day, which is why I'm glad I'm teaching now, because I can advocate more. Like I can do more. My voice is a little bit bigger as far as advocacy goes. So
definitely. I'm gonna wrap things up. We actually running out of time, but I think
I love to talk. I love to talk.
That's why I'm doing this. I love to talk too, and it's time I make it work for me. But
it will. You just keep going, man. I love this. I love it. I love it.
I ain't gonna stop. 2 or 3 a day. That's the goal.
Keep going.
But
I'm coming back because we got to talk about some other stuff too.
I'm
coming back.
But I definitely want to thank you for not only this interview, but all the awareness that you're raising and everything you stand for, and just for leaving where you're coming from and going to another city and making the absolute best of it.
Thank you. And everybody up here they're actually vacationing down there because they just like, this place has got to be awesome. So I'm sending revenue down that way. So y'all take care of my people when they come down.
I heard that. This has been another edition of More to Live For, Queens of the City, Chocolate City this time.
Hey,
hope y'all enjoyed it. Peace and blessings.
Bye. Thank you.